G'day and welcome to DuckZorly Gaming and our Let's Play series here on Willamina Forest. We are continuing on our 24-day seasons challenge in hardcore mode and having a fun time in doing it. I'm just on the way back. We've just been working on our new field down in the southern area of our land plot, and I've just had a call that someone is waiting for us at the store, and we're just going to go pick them up after I try and take out the service station. Anyway, we'll see who's down there, and we'll give them a lift back up to where we're working so we can get straight into it. There's not going to be any time for slacking off, so whoever's here is going to have to get down, head down, bum up, and get into the work. So we'll see who it was that's here. Looks like it's Jimmy J. Hey, here we go. Alright, let's see if I can run him over. Very close. Alright. Where is he? Where's he gone? There he is. G'day, Jimmy.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Alright.
I see your driving hasn't improved.
No, driving hasn't improved at all. Anyway, do you like my new horn? That's pretty
Sorry,
cool,
what was that? I couldn't hear you over the horn.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good. Alright. So, off we go. I'm going to take you straight up where we're working, and we'll just get straight into it. So we're bringing trees down. So if you can jump in the fence, I'll drop you off at the fence with the brooks, and then follow me up, and then we can continue clearing. Alright.
Oh, some trees, that'll be a nice change of pace.
Well, certainly plenty of them. Now, we have actually bought the extra land plot as well. So I know the viewers were talking about, in the last episode, we're talking about buying the next plot of land. We have actually done so. So once I've dropped JJ off here and kicked him out of the tractor, we will have a look at the map and see where we're at. Alright, so if we bring up the map, this is the land we've currently owned, the two plots up through here, as you can see. And that's where we've got our fields, and we've now just bought this southern plot of land just on the other side of the river, and that's where we're next going to start investing and developing our farm. So until then, we've still got a bit of work to do. So you want to follow me up, JJ, and then we can get rid of the rest of these trees off this plot of land up here, and then we'll be good to go.
Right behind you.
All right. So this is the last field that we're going to create on this side of the river. I've decided I'm not going to create another little field to our right where we are now. I think this will be the last main field we have here. Oh, I think you got a phone message, JJ.
Oh, I did indeed. I thought I had my phone on silent. There you go.
Well, as long as you're not using it while you're driving, that's okay. Alright, so we're going to get rid of all these trees down here in front of us in this patch through here. So get to it. That's all there is to it. Let's dig in and get rid of them.
Sorry, Duck, I have to be a pain and nip off for a second.
Yeah, right, mate. We'll continue on without. See, this is the problem when you employ Kiwis. They're just nowhere near as reliable as you need them to be.
I'm still here, Duck.
Oh. Oh, well. Never let the truth get in the way of a good story. It's still truth.
Yeah, that's how history's written.
I should have learned to mute that radio.
Are you on the right channel?
Probably not. Anyway. Yeah, so we're going to continue on. We're still waiting for our soil temperature to increase to at least 5 degrees. I'm hoping that may happen today, being the 14th day of spring. We've only got another 10 days of spring left, so it needs to hurry up and warm up a little bit for us. Although today is supposed to be a bit of a cold day according to the weather forecast. Or is that tomorrow? I can't remember. No, today. So we may not get there today. It may actually be tomorrow. But in any case, it gives us an opportunity to finish off the trees in this plot of land, and then we can get down here. We can plough it in, we can lime it, we can fertilise it, all that sort of stuff, and have it generally ready to go. Alright, I think one more tree should about do us here. I'm thinking I might have to be paying JJ by the load, not by the time. Because he doesn't move very far, but anyway, that's okay. We'll continue on. Oh, overcommitted there. One of the things with this tractor is it's far more powerful, as I alluded to in the last episode, and quicker than what we've been using, and where I sort of expect coming up a hill to sort of have to struggle a bit, this thing doesn't struggle at all, and I'm not yet compensated fully for the different level of ability and capability of this tractor. Anyway, that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to move around through here now, put the pipe out for our overloader, and then we'll offload. This should bring us back to about $200,000 in the kitty. So still means we've got a fair amount of money there ready to go. So if there's any implements or anything we do need to buy, then we can buy those. I think as far as tractors and that go, we're fine now. So we've got the Xerion, we've got the Fendt 1000, we've got the Arion 900, and we've got the Mercedes-Benz. So I think we've got more than enough hardware in that regard. Our next investment we're going to need to look at worrying about is going to be a combine harvester. Now, I think we're going to have to be looking at an intermediate size combine, not one of the small ones, purely for the fact that I think we're going to need the extra power available with some of the bigger combines to deal with the terrain they're going to be working on. But insofar as what brand or whatever we use, I'm not so sure yet. We'll have to have a look and see what's on offer. But we'll consult our dealer when it comes time, and we'll have a look at see what's available, and then also see how much money we've got to spend. But I would like to think the way we're going at the moment with chopping trees down and making money, we shouldn't have an issue with having to be on a particular budget for a combine harvester. Whatever we want, we should be able to get.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's all right.
My mum bringing me a lot of energy drinks because she knew I was working with you today.
Oh, is that right?
Need it. Yeah.
Well, that's all right.
Nice.
I'm glad we don't have a contract, but I've just changed the terms of your payments. You're only getting paid for the amount of work you do, not the actual amount of time. So you're not on the clock yet.
That's okay. Well, I mean, at least for your viewers, a bit of realism. Real life actually came along.
I don't know if my viewers want too much reality. certainly not with me. All right.
Well, I think there's not too many people in real life that would turn the Amazon forest into a farming land by themselves.
Yeah, I honestly think that when I first started this map, I didn't really comprehend how much work was going to be doing all these trees. I've got much more of an idea now. But,
well, at least you've got a series to cover you till Farming Sim 29.
Well, look, I mean, that may well just need to be the case. I mean, after my state of the game video and all the things that I've pointed out are wrong with this version of the game, I'm certainly, like many of my viewers and those that have commented on the video, I'm not going to be jumping straight into pre-ordering the next version of Farming Simulator, and I won't necessarily be buying it as soon as it's available either. So we may well be stuck on this variant for a little while yet. But in saying that, I'm actually also considering going back and doing one series or so on 17, going back to 17. So for instance, I'm actually considering going back to Bullet Bill's Lone Oak Farm and finishing that off, because we only really sort of started that one. So yeah, so thankfully, yeah, this map will probably last me, like you say, for a good couple of years of videos, I reckon, if I was to do it the proper way. But whether the viewers will stay with me that long is another matter altogether. Alright, so that's another load we've got done, so we're going to head on back to selling this load. Hopefully without running into any trees this time or running off the road.
Well, I'd like to say to your viewers, if any of them haven't watched your State of the Game video, it's well worth the time to take out and watch that, because Duck puts in some great views and points out some interesting points to do with the game and how it was released. And I thoroughly enjoyed it and totally agreed with you. But yeah, I think everyone else will too. And,
yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think I'm going to be on Giant's Christmas card list anytime soon. But then again, by the same token, Giants probably won't even ever see it. I mean, who knows? But yeah, certainly from the feedback we've got so far, a lot of people out there actually agree with exactly what we did put forward. And look, I mean, it was an hour-long video, and I only just touched the surface. I mean, there is that much more in detail and other stuff that I could have actually talked about. I basically had it as a 2-hour video, and I had to edit a lot of the stuff out and just put what I thought were the most pertinent and more important parts that I thought into the video. And there's a whole lot more that could have been added. So I could do an entire series on it probably. But yeah, so. Anyway, no, thanks for that, and hopefully everyone will get to see it. And look, I would like to think that hopefully someone at Giants might see it, and hopefully they may actually take a step back and say, hey, look, there is a bit of stuff we need to think about in improving the game going forward. But I mean, look, who knows? All I hope for is that they, if they do launch a successor to Farming Simulator 19, that they learn from their mistakes from the launch of 19. Take a bit more time, and bring us a more complete game upon launch. So anyway,
yeah, well, that would be nice, but I mean, every game has their bugs, and but it'd just be nice that the bugs aren't ones that have originally been on something that should have never happened in the first place.
Oh, look, absolutely.
You have to wait and see.
I mean, hopefully they actually put some decent testing criteria in, and get some beta testers in there that aren't associated with the company and stuff like that, and sort of really get the thing tested properly to pick up all the problems, and not listen to a publishing company that says, well, you must release it no matter what. I mean, that's going to get onto a whole new topic. It's the problem with gaming companies and the current generation of gamers and people in general, is the fact that everyone wants to have it now. I mean, I remember not all that long ago, you would get a game. I mean, yeah, okay, they're probably not as complex as what today's games are, but by the same token, you get a game, it's released, you go out and you buy the CD, because there was no such thing as downloading from the internet back then, and you had a complete game, and there wasn't any bugs in it, because the games actually went through a whole lot of testing before it was actually publicly released. Because the problem with the companies then, they had to spend a lot of money on the infrastructure of actually creating the game, the box and all the manuals, and then the CDs and all that sort of stuff. So if they didn't get it right, there was a big element of risk, cost-wise, if they'd launched it without it being right. Whereas in today's day and age, I mean, how many games are now in early access forever? I mean, there's one game, a couple of games I've got at the moment that have been in it. Well, I mean, look at Cattle and Crops, okay? So the competitor to Farming Sim. That's been in an early access mode for like 3 years now. I mean, how long does it take for a game to come out of early access? Back in the day, they never did that. It was just, they finished the game, it was polished, it was pretty much bug-free, and then it was released. Whereas now, gaming companies and software publishers just are happy to get the game out there, sell as many as they can, make the money they can. Oh, look, there's some problems, we'll fix it as we go along. Or they rely upon the modding community or the community in general to fix their game or make it better or whatever else. And I mean, it's just not the right thing to do. But unfortunately, it's just the way it's gone.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. I think that for me, the difference between then and now was, I mean, I remember playing games that came out on floppy disks. And you put your 8 or 9 floppy disk in, and back then you did have the bugs with some of those, but they were actually part of the game. There's another puzzle to get around, and you generally did. That didn't really stop you from playing the game.
Yeah,
which it just shows that it was a learning process at the time. It was computers come out. It was, for me, it was the IBM x86, and that's going back a long time ago.
Yep.
And I'm not saying I was old. I was just lucky enough to have my father who worked in a business which needed computers when they sort of first came to New Zealand. And as you know, we didn't have power until a few years back.
5 years ago.
So so but I mean, the same with the discs. They came out, but the games were polished. Like for me, one of the best games I've ever played are ones that were made way back in the 90s and stuff like that, and they came out and they were fine. And I think that was because back then people had passion for what they were doing, but also had pride in what they're doing and wanted to give their passion and pride onto the disc delivered to you at the price you pay for to get what you pay for. Nowadays, I think a lot of it's about how do we make the most money by spending the least amount of money, and they do that, and they're just all about making the money and getting the money and all that kind of stuff. And then you put your early access came along, and they're in there for a long time. And so, admittedly, some of those early access games and that platform has given people who normally would have to, apply for a job in a gaming development company to be able to do what they like. But there's a lot of games out there that are developed by people who are just doing it part-time and then able to make a company and follow their dream, which is a fantastic thing. And because of that, they're small business and that, so they're trying to give you a best product, but only have a limited amount of time in a day to do that. So early access for a long time, and some of those, that's fine, I understand that. But some of these big companies with the early access come out, they don't do their Q&A properly, they come out with bugs, but they purely seem to rely more on modders to improve their games. They know that modders will make a game that you'd normally play for 3 months and get sick of it, move to something else, turn that game into a playable game for a year or 2 years because of the modding community. And they don't have to spend a cent to do that. They've got people who are doing it for free. They've got people who come in and say, this is wrong for the game and everything else. Instead of spending a whole bunch of money on QA people to do their bug fixing and everything right for them, they can save money by doing the basic and then send it out there and wait for people to complain about it and then fix it then. Let the customer who's paid for the game to do their job for them. And all they have to do, and that's what I think they're doing. And it's come a bit too much about the money instead of what the game should be, and making something for everyone to enjoy, having a bit of pride and on what you're doing and stuff like that, knowing what you've released, you've done the best possible thing you can do. And with computers, you're always going to have something go wrong and everything like that. And Giants had that sort of thing as well. But the thing for me with 15 and 17 is that they were there for the modders. They're very big on trying to help the modders out and support the modders to have mods in the game and everything else like that. They seemed to show that they understood that modders were a big part of their success at the time. They had bugs that came out, but they were very quick to try and fix them. And for 19 and a lot of others as well, that's gone. And that's sort of gone because, to me, it's the sales have gone up, their popularity has gone up, so they're relying on the fact that they've got guaranteed money coming in out of their popularity and the word getting around, and the customer base is growing.
Yeah,
which is just
I
wrong.
think you've hit on two important points that are a little bit different, though. I think the money-hungry aspect of it is more coming from the publishers more so than the actual game developers and the companies themselves. I mean, sure, the gaming company wants to make their money, but I think the game developers and those that are making the games have that passion. They want to do right by the game. I would certainly like to think that. I think the problem you have with the gaming companies per se is they just want to get it out there so quick, which is, again, comes back to a lot of the publishers putting the pressure on them to put it out. It stifles and stops them from actually doing the proper QA and everything else they should do. I mean, Giants have actually come out and they basically all but admitted and said, look, we didn't have enough QA staff, we don't have enough QA staff, and all that sort of stuff. I mean, you can't put out a game that you want to be a AAA title if you don't QA it properly. I mean, sending it out, which is effectively what they did, and having the community play it as a final release game. Well, and this is the problem with most games now. They come out, the games we're receiving aren't a polished full game. They're an alpha, or at best a beta. So they're a version of the game that should be still either be in closed testing or limited open testing to ascertain where all the bugs are. Because, I mean, if you've only got, I mean, I don't know, Giants have got, I don't know how many staff members Giants have, but say they have 300 staff members that are just working on the game and doing basic testing. A couple of things happen. Number one, they're only going to find certain things. They're not necessarily going to look for game-breaking things, unless you've got someone that's actually experienced in doing QA testing and destruction of software and stuff like that in that sort of terms, non-destructive testing. But you've also got people doing it that have an inherent interest not to basically affect the outcome of the product as well in a bad way. So are you arguably going to have a staff member say to upper management, no, this game sucks, or the mod hub sucks, we need to redesign it because it's just stupid whoever did it? Well, they're not going to do it. So does that just get, oh well, it's just what we've done and it's part of our branding and we just need to live with it? Whereas opening it up to outsiders to provide that input, I certainly believe you are a lot more likely to get very open and honest feedback in relation to your product, in the fact that they're going to come out and say, you know what, this is a really good idea, but the implementation of it really sucks. You need to rethink it for this reason, this reason, this reason. And it may be quite valid. I mean, you will get some that will do in testing and provide feedback that is just rubbish, but again, it depends on who you're getting to do your testing. I mean, if you're just opening it up to the masses, then yes, you get some very poor feedback. But if you have a more selective group doing it, then you're far better off than taking it from your own resources. And I think that's where the likes of Giants and that have been let down in this process. They didn't have that. I don't think. I mean, look, if Giants want to come out and tell me, hey, look, we did open it up to closed beta and there were people outside of the company that did test it and da-da-da-da, fine, I'll sit back and apologise and say, well, okay, fine. Then the problem is the fact that either your testers didn't do a good enough job, or alternatively, you didn't listen to your testers. But I mean, yeah, I mean, look, that's the way I look at it. I mean, we're going on and on about it, but hopefully they just learn by the mistakes they've had. Because 19 was the worst. Well, I mean, I've only played 19 and 17 admittedly, but 17's launch was very smooth by comparison to 19's, and their response to 19's launch was very poor. Was that to do with creating the esports league? I would like to think it's not, but I think it certainly was. That was not created overnight. I think the development of that started when they'd finished the development of 19, so I think instead of actually spending time fixing it, they were still working on esports league, or sorry, the farming sports league, or whatever they call it. And I think that's detracted from the overall product of 19 for a very small portion of the community that are going to be involved with it. But hey, I mean, again, it's all my opinion. I may be totally off the park, and like I said, if Giants want to discuss it with me openly, I'm more than happy to do so. I'm more than happy to have an interview or do an interview with a member of Giant staff and ask them the questions and sort of work it all out. But again, I'm only a very small minnow, so they're not going to be interested in my thoughts or my comments. The only thing I would say to that, well, it's quite obvious by the amount of feedback I've had so far from my video that there's a lot of people that actually have the same idea as me, and they're certainly not reciprocated on the Giants forum, which is basically dead. So are Giants really getting that true feedback of what the community really thinks of their game? I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. You came in 17, and you've noticed the difference between 17 and 19. I've been playing the game since 11, not much in 11, but 13, 15, and 17. And I'm in total agreement with it. And probably you're right about the publish as well, because they've got less to lose, because it's not their product they lose. They can always find someone else to publish, which is probably you're probably right there. That's been part of the problem. They're more so probably more about the money than anyone else. But yeah, I mean, the thing with Farming Simulator, you're just not going to get all the bugs, because with a game like this, there's so many people play it, but a lot of people they have different ways of playing the game, and you can't test ways of playing a game that you don't know about or you don't think about. But there are people that will play it differently, and that's where you probably find your other bugs and stuff. But this one, they just dropped the ball with the testing in general on basic things, as you said. And it's been interesting to see how many people agree with you on the whole thing. And the funny thing is that video themselves, Giants should look at, because I mean, you look at most of the most successful businesses or business people in the world became successful because they could take criticism. They didn't get precious about it or take it personally. They took it in and were able to look at themselves and adjust and do it better by admitting that they did something wrong. And for this, the thing that's the biggest disappointment probably for you, me, and other people about this game is we've been fans of this game, enjoyed this game. And as it develops, you expect more. You probably expect a little more than you get most of the time, but still, that's happened in 15 and that happened in 17 with me, but I still enjoyed the game. I still got on with it. Bugs came out, they fixed it, and the game got even more enjoyable with bugs, few updates, great DLCs and stuff like that. And I'd love to see that back. But I think with this one, because the 19, with all the hype and everything going on, they just set the bar so high and missed it so far that it's just changed the whole way the game feels and how you approach it for us. And I think a lot of us would just, old players would just love that feeling of the old farming sim back with the new improvements that make it even better. You know, do your bugs, fix your bugs, but just do it right. You know, do it right, get most of it right, and don't take away stuff that work and then put in stuff that doesn't work. Stick with what you got and improve from it.
Yeah.
Don't fix something that's not broken.
Yeah. No, you're right. Anyway, here endeth the rant episode.
Yeah. After the state of the game episode.
Yeah.
There's your title.
We're actually out of time. That's a very quick half hour. So thanks, JJ, for joining me.
That's right. I enjoyed my 20 minutes.
We'll probably continue on straight after this. So the next episode you'll probably see JJ in it again. But I do hope you're enjoying this series, having the ability to have all sorts of personalities come in and join us. I can tell you that Eustace will be back. I think he's still lost in the forest, but now we've crossed the river and we're heading over the other side of the river. We might be able to help find him and bring him back home. But in all seriousness, I hope you're enjoying the series. I'm enjoying bringing it too. It's good fun spending some time with some of these great people and great mates playing the game. We do enjoy, albeit probably not as much as what we could do. But all that aside, most importantly, I hope you're getting enjoyment out of it and it's some entertaining to some point in time. Anyway, thanks, JJ.
That's all right. And anyone out there, I think, well, since it's Duck Channel, it doesn't bother me. Just, you know, if you have a point of view, please say it in a nicer way. Opinions are great, and a bit of discussion and having your point of view would be great, I think, as well. Am I wrong, Duck? since it'll be on your channel. But
yeah, no, you're wrong. But anyway, that's another matter altogether. But not necessarily on that particular subject. But no, what he says is correct. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the show and the diatribe about giants and everything that's wrong and state of the game part 2. But anyway, until next time, I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to press the like button or the dislike button if you wish. I know the dislike is only for JJ, not for me. It's okay. And of course, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. We are very close to our 1,000. So please consider pressing that button. And if you do press that subscribe button, please make sure you press that alarm notification icon next to it, just so you're made aware when new videos and diatribes are available on the channel. So until next time, no matter whether it's morning, afternoon, evening or night, no matter where you are in the world, take care of yourselves and your loved ones. And we'll see you again very, very soon back here at Willamina Forest and DuckZorly Gaming. See you all later. Bye.